Right, so I'm gonna head out for a little ride while the weather's still good. I'm actually gonna go to Wells, and I'm gonna go to the smallest city, one of the smallest cities in the UK, to get one of the biggest flapjacks. I feel like I need some air in my back tyre. But yeah, if you haven't been to the city of Wells before, then you're in for a treat, because it's one of the most beautiful little cities in our country, and they've always got good bakeries and stuff like that, so you always come home kind of needing to pop to the gym afterwards. I do wonder whether every single petrol station has a broken one of these. Seems to be the way. So today I'm going to take you to a place called the Flapjackery. Now the Flapjackery does probably the best flapjack I've ever tasted. Definitely the biggest flapjack slabs I've ever had. And it's like flapjack heaven. If you're into flapjack, this is the place to go. I must say it's not the healthiest thing in the world. No, you know, that's just the truth. And if you're not from the UK, you might not know what a flapjack is. A flapjack is made of oats, usually butter and golden syrup. You're not going to get skinny eating it, that's for sure. And who uses coins anymore? That's just ridiculous. Is it going to be this hard to just fill some air in my tyres? Okay, I'm going to ride through to Wells. When you get that feeling that you need to fill air in your tyres, just to fill air in your tyres, shouldn't it? So that's the only thing about riding around in Somerset, is that you're likely to get stuck behind a tractor. There we go. There's Glastonbury Tor over there. Very cool. And the Somerset level, so you can see miles and miles and miles. So the city of Wells is where I did my driving test, actually, back when I was 17. That was actually, yeah, it was a while ago. Right, now we're going to see if we can find somewhere that actually has air. Do they have air? I'm not entirely sure what PSI these tyres are supposed to be at. I did check it because I have filled them a number of times, so I've totally forgotten. It actually says 42 PSI. Let's see what we're at. That's good. So the only thing with the Thunderbird is that there's no fuel gauge, so when you fill up, I just twist it around to 0 again, and then I fill up again when I cover about 100 miles. Even though it's got quite a big tank, it does munch through the petrol pretty quick. Just put some fuel in the tank. So here we are in Wells.
So I made it out to Wells. The Thunderbird's running amazingly as usual. That bike just never seems to fail in any way whatsoever. So I gotta, tip my hat to that bike. It's about 30 years old, that bike now, and it's just still flying. I've got a confession to make. Since I was about 14, maybe 15, could have been earlier than that actually, I always wanted a Harley Davidson, and that itch has never really gone away. But and I actually kind of went to look at a Harley last week. It's just an 883 Sportster, but after starting it and sitting on it, I didn't actually go for a ride on it because the guy wouldn't let me go for a ride on it. He was a bit too concerned that I might lay it down or something. So, but starting it and sitting on it just felt so kind of like, it was like agricultural, I suppose. I know Harley riders out there, you're gonna go nuts now, but in some ways, the Harley still kind of holds that place of like, this is a real kind of motorcycle, you know, this is the real deal. And when I thought about motorbikes when I was younger, you always thought about the Harley. And one of the reasons was because of the noise of the engine, the sound of the engine. It was like, it was different. You could tell a Harley from everything else. And I suppose the thing that attracted me to Harleys when I was younger is the thing that is kind of stopping me buying one now, if you know what I mean. I really like the loud, obnoxious pipes, you know, the noise, the look, the kind of the rawness of the machine and everything. And it's actually those things that are kind of turning me off a little bit now, I suppose. I feel a little bit like, oh, I don't know if I would feel comfortable starting the Harley in my neighborhood and like the whole street hearing it. I guess I could put some silencers on and stuff like that and keep it a bit quieter, but I don't know. But funnily enough, even though I kind of sat on the bike, I had a chance to buy one and didn't buy it, I've still got this kind of Harley itch that I'm like, oh, should I get a Harley? Should I get one? So I think I'm gonna try and curb my enthusiasm to get a Harley. But you might be able to convince me in the comments, I don't know. One of the things that I would like to get a Harley for is to do some touring on it, because it's not a typical touring bike. So it would be quite fun to do some touring on it, to try it out for long distance. I know the 883 Sportster is probably not the bike to do long distance on, but ergonomically it works quite well for me because I'm fairly short, so I don't have these long gangly legs to kind of like wrap up around my ears when I'm sat on a low riding bike. But I don't know, I can't seem to shake the Harley itch. What is that all about? You tell me in the comments what that's all about, because I do not know. Anyway, I'm going to show you around Wells a little bit. I've got to show you the Flapjackery. I know you saw I parked up there. You've seen that a little bit, but I'm going to take you down there now so you can take a look at these Flapjacks. They're quite something else, I have to say. So this is the famous place, the Flapjackery. And I always go for the original. So
that is fun.
This is the Flapjackery.
It is.
it's totally awesome.
There's no mistaking it.
No, and that's my favourite. The traditional there. I'm definitely gonna have a piece of that. So is this is vegan, organic, the whole lot? No, it's not vegan.
Are you vegan?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
No, not at all. I'll have one of those then. The non-vegan version, please. So I had my little trip to Wells to kind of blow the cobwebs out for the Thunderbird a little bit, and it just never ceases to amaze me, this bike. It just starts and just goes and just does what a good motorcycle should do. So I do just about have room for 2 motorcycles in the Thunder Cave, and it wouldn't ever be changed to the Harley Cave. It would just stay the Thunder Cave. So I guess I could. It's just interesting that I've still got a bit of the Harley itch, and it doesn't ever seem to go away. It's like a real thing, you know. And I think that's probably something that most motorcyclists have had at some point. Although I have to say, I've only sat on a Harley and started one. I've never actually ridden one, so I can't really kind of like pass judgment on what it's like to ride a Harley Davidson. And I would like to get one to do some stupid long touring with, just for fun, you know. I know they're not meant for that, but it would be fun to try it out and see what it feels like to sit on a Harley Davidson Sportster for a few 100 miles a day. And for you guys that have got Sportsters and know what that's like, you might be like, no way, that is just not the right thing to do. But we'll see. But anyway, you got to see a little bit of Wells, and you got to see the Flapjackery, which is like one of my favorite places ever. And I've eaten a whole one, and that is not good at all, because now I'm gonna have to go home and go to the gym, because that's just a lot of calories. And there's a few bits on the Thunderbird I need to sort out actually. These bits at the front here, the rubbers have gone. I just need to take off the yoke probably and slide some new rubbers into there. But otherwise, it's pretty good. I think I got a bit of a leak down here as well. Some seal that's going or gone. Simple things, nothing too serious. And after 6,000 miles of crazy hot and cold riding down through Europe, I feel like it's fared quite well. So the adventures continue. I do have a couple of things planned for this year. Well, planned. They're kind of planned. One of them may involve me riding this to Norway. I'm quite excited about it, if I'm honest. That possibly is happening a little bit later in the year, maybe kind of June time or something. I'd like to start planning that anyway. I'm gonna get back on the bike. I am going to head back to Bristol. So I'll catch you in a bit.